Hello everyone, welcome to my video explaining how I've got around the audio conundrum for a 2005 Toyota Aristo. This will also apply for Lexus GS300s between 1998 and 2005, Toyota Aristos. I'm not too sure about any other Lexus models, but this definitely works for this car. Now, what I've got here is a LAMTTO 10.25-ish inch display with Android Auto and Carplay. I use Android Auto to essentially get around having to replace this with a double DIN head unit. To replace this with a double DIN head unit, you need to buy a Beatsonic MVA 31, might be the 32, I can't remember now, adapter kit so that you can plug into the proprietary Toyota audio equipment, which is optical. It's not your normal kind of speaker cable setup, and you can't just plug into the back of a double DIN head unit. It requires an adapter to power it, etc. So what this solution does is allows you to get around all of that and the expense of it, so that you've got a nice easy option. It's a lot cheaper, and you can remove it very easily as well, so you don't need to get rid of this. And I think this is a nice feature to keep in the car, because if you've got yourself an Aristo, it's a Japanese import, and I quite like all of the Japanese stuff actually. I think it looks pretty cool. It's definitely of the era, and it's a great car, so why mess with things? The way that I've got around this is obviously to purchase this unit, which I think was around £105, maybe a bit more, 110, something along those lines. And I use the auxiliary out, which goes into a Grom adapter, which is plugged in just there. This thing, which as you can see has got an auxiliary cable going into it. Got a spare one there, which is the old one. I've actually bought a flat cable, which I'll explain in a sec. That Grom unit, it plugs into the standard equipment, which would otherwise normally house the CD changer. So I think you're going to need the CD changer, but then again, I think at least all of the Toyota Aristos came with that. And I'm imagining that probably most of, if not all of the Lexus GS300s as well. But don't quote me on that, because I'm not an expert across all those cars, so your mileage may vary. So anyway, I've got the auxiliary cable. You have to excuse this. It's got a couple of cables here, which I will be tidying up so that they actually pop out at the top. This thing's held on by an arm, and that way it'll all hide so that it comes out the side here, and you won't be able to see any cables. Now I know this isn't going to be for everybody, because a lot of people, they don't like having a display there, but when I'm driving, if this is my kind of driving position like so, that is not bothering me at all. As you can see, I've got a Audi Q4 there. That's got a display in this area as well. It's very bright and all that kind of stuff. So I just don't find it a distraction. So it's fine for me. To power this thing, I've basically just gone off a USB to USB-C adapter here. Again, this cable is going to get replaced with a longer one, so that it can basically I'm probably going to find a way of actually getting it through this ashtray. So it runs up the back of this unit and comes out the top. I might even pop it out from underneath the speaker here, because the flat cables, they'll fit under this quite nicely, and then they'll just pop into the back of the unit. Now the features of this thing are almost quite unbelievable actually, given the price. I mean, it really was cheap, around £110, £115, maybe not even that much. And it's got a full fat Android Auto experience. You've got maps in there, and it's nice and responsive actually. I mean, that is no less responsive than that car there, and that car was significantly more expensive than this Toyota Aristo, obviously, because that's newer and this is older, but it's really, really good value for money, this thing. The features on the the unit itself, is that we've got the ability to do Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can cast as well, so if you want to watch films, if you are crazy enough to do that, I don't think that's legal in the UK, so I won't be doing it. And with this being pretty prominent, if a police car goes past, or if some busybody Karen goes past and films me, then I'm absolutely guaranteed to get a ticket through the post, so I won't be bothering. We've got several audio outputs. I'm using auxiliary. You can do FM. I wouldn't do that piece, but you can if you want, because you can tune it down here. Sound quality won't be that great. You've got Bluetooth audio, so if you've got a Bluetooth piece in your existing head unit, which you won't if you've got a stock one, then you can do that. You have got the option of plugging in something like this, which is a Bluetooth auxiliary adapter. Where's the auxiliary bit? There it is. So you can see that. The problem with this is obviously it requires power. So regardless, I think best case scenario is I could plug it in down here. However, it does remain on unless you physically turn it off by the power button, and it will run out after 8 hours. And once the car is off, this cigarette lighter doesn't provide power anymore. So it basically won't charge. So this will essentially need to be switched back on every time you get back in the car, and that is just something I couldn't be bothered doing. I know it's only a button press, but it's a button press and I just can't be bothered, so why bother? So yeah, this one goes out the auxiliary, and you've also got a dash cam built into this thing, which is what this item is here. This is, you can move this up and down. Because I wanted this to sit quite low on the dash, I've pulled this up so it can see down the bonnet of the car. I can show you that now. There you go. And that's the video quality is 720 or 1080 or 2.5K. You can split the video by 1.5, I think it's 10 minutes, maybe not 10 minutes, hang on a sec. The settings, camera, record resolution, there you go, 2.5K, 1080, I'll leave mine at 1080. Split time, maximum of 5, medium 3, and lowest is 1. It will not delete this. I think it might overwrite it if the SSD card runs out, which is supplied, by the way. It's a 64 gig SSD card, as you can see here. So basically all you do is you buy the unit and you're good to go. It comes with an arm like that, which is what I've used, but it also comes with like it's like a stand, and it's flexible, so you could stick it to this. But I think in heat and that kind of stuff, you find it's probably going to end up melting off anyway, and it might even leave some horrible residue on this, and you might not be able to get off. It might ruin your dash, and I certainly won't want to ruin the dash on a Toyota Aristo. They're very nice. So what I've done now is basically just use a suction arm. It is a little bit sticky, but because this is essentially resting on the dash as well, which I'm hoping you can see there, it's basically supported, so it doesn't need anything additional. Right, let's have a look at general settings. So with this, you've got auto dimming. So what this does is basically it auto dims at night time. So you've got the times that it does it, which in the UK, minus summertime, that it's going to be dark by 6, during this time of year, through till about March. Goes dark at about 4:30, even earlier, over December and November. So that you can adjust the times on this as you need. I don't think it's quite smart enough to go off the phone. I don't know yet, I've not tested it. I've not driven at night with this thing in yet, I've only just installed it. So you can service, which helps you with the installation setup and all that kind of stuff, but honestly it's not rocket science. You can do split screen mode, so you can actually have the camera visible at all times and your Android Auto or your normal interface. I've chosen not to do this because the camera just starts recording as soon as the device switches on, so that is actively recording right now. So if I go to home and then I do playback, you'll be able to see video, and there you go, it saves all the videos, and I've got absolutely tons in there. So and you can actually take photos as well if you really want to. You can lock some of the videos as well. So if you go into the camera, if you press the lock item there, then whatever it is, there you go. So it's starting to record now. It does this automatically. It switched off because I went into the options menu. Then I can do that, and it will lock the video that is being recorded right now. But I don't want that, so I'm just going to leave it open. There's your photo button. Click, taking photo, and then you've got cast to mobile. I think you can actually, if I do that, it's, yeah, I'm not too sure what that does, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter. You get the point. Now, this does actually come with a reverse camera as well. Now that will need to be wired in, so I'm going to try and figure out a way of getting it into the back of the unit, which will go into the additional circular hole on that bit. And I'll probably need to run it along underneath the dash, and I'm either going to run it along the actual cable trays down here at the bottom, and then it will come out at the back, or I'll run it up, and then I could hang it up there somewhere. But to be honest, with it being a reversing camera with actual it's actually got the space warning thing as well, and it beeps and all sorts of stuff. It's really cool. I'd rather set it up correctly, so I'll probably end up just putting it next to the license plate lights so it's not in the way, and yeah, that should be great. So what else do I need to let you know? It's got dimming as well, so you can change the actual brightness of the unit if you want, but I think it, like I mentioned earlier, you can change it to do that automatically. You can choose your output for your audio, as mentioned earlier, and then what else have we got? You can do straight to Bluetooth if you want. If you don't want to use Android, that's absolutely fine, because you might be able to go and have like a Bluetooth iPod or something like that. And yeah, honestly, for the value that you get for the cost of this unit, this is an absolutely fantastic solution, because with the Grom auxiliary thing, which I think is about 110, 120 quid, this is 100 quid. Your cables are a few quid. You're talking like just over 200. So in dollars, I guess that'll work out to like $235 to $250. And that is less money than the Beat Sonic adapter. And then you need to get the doubled-in head unit, and you need to wire the cables all the way back to the actual amp that's in the boot, and it's just a headache, and I just couldn't be bothered. And I also didn't want to lose this nice little Japanese old schooly kind of head unit. So this is the solution for me. So my car's a 2004 Toyota Aristo Vertex V300. It's got the Supra twin turbo 2JZ GTE engine in it. It's rear wheel drive. It's basically a 4-door Supra. I've got kids, so it's much more suitable to me. I've also got this Celica GT4 over here, which is going to be going in April. There's a guy that's buying it. He's giving me a deposit, but if he pulls out, I'm not going to lose any sleep. I'll just keep it, and I'll use it as a track weapon, or my little 4-cylinder turbo nutter car. The other thing about this car as well is I will be getting an 8 HP gearbox pretty soon, so I'm more than happy to do some footage on that. In case you guys have got any questions, there will be a Link ECU being put into the car as well. Wideband, lambda sensor, all sorts of changes are going to be made to make it as efficient and up to date as humanly possible. So I think head unit, gearbox, reversing camera, this thing's going to be like a modern car, but with old school power, and none of the stupid electronic safety gizmos that they have now, like where it basically beeps at you every time you go over the speed limit by ½ mile per hour and all that kind of stuff. So much more my kind of thing. Yeah, I'm very happy with all of this. So I'll be doing some more footage of the car, I think, at some point. I'm just waiting for the weather to kind of pick up a little bit, especially once the gearbox goes in. I'll be giving the car to Dad Cars, the YouTube channel. I've spoken to him already about this, so he's going to do a review on the car as well. So you'll see his footage of it, and I will probably be uploading in and around the same time. I'll get my channel created. So yeah, hopefully I pick up a few subscribers, and the more I get, the more I'll do, basically. And I quite like to grow a channel. We could do Toyota footage of this car, maybe with the Celica GT4 as well. So if you've got any questions about either car, by all means, drop a message or a kind of reply in the comments, and I will see what I can do for you. I can't promise I'll be making videos every day. Maybe once a week, once every couple of weeks, whatever. I'm quite a busy guy, work a full-time job, and I've got 2 kids, wife, all that kind of stuff. But I love my old school Jap cars. So yeah, let me know what you think, good or bad. I know some people won't like this because it sticks up above the dash, but that thing there has got something similar. Most Mercedes have got a kind of sticky uppy thing as well, so it doesn't really bother me, to be honest with you. I'd just rather have the convenience of an Android Auto unit without having to replace all of this. And also the cool thing about this as well, I can't remember where it is exactly, but you can get to, I think it might be in here somewhere. This is all touchscreen. I don't know, I can't read Japanese. But you can actually store all of the information about the car in here, like service that you've done, oil changes, whatever, all that good stuff. So yeah, and in terms of the sound quality, let me actually play you a little bit. Hopefully this will record. So if I play this, I like house music, so apologies if you don't like house music, but I do, so that's what's getting played. But as you can hear, hopefully if you've got good speakers, headphones, you'll be able to hear how bassy that sounds. It's lovely sound quality. I'll let this play for a couple of minutes. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. Pank ratio. Oh yeah, you get all. You might have seen that then. You get the WhatsApp messages and everything pop up just like you normally do. So yeah, that's Lee. He's the guy from SRD that's going to be doing the gearbox. So yeah, I think it sounds great. I love this car. It's probably the best car I've ever owned, if I'm honest with you, and I've owned lots and lots of cars. So in terms of the sound, all I've done to it is basically just left the bass where it is. The mid I've knocked it down one, I've just upped the treble, the actual EQ, the EQ that's inside Spotify, which I usually play from. If I do a full screen on Spotify, I haven't messed with any of the sound in this. I know you can do an equalizer and stuff, but I find it actually ends up over compressing some of the other frequency bands, so I just leave it as it is, and I think it sounds perfectly fine to me. I mean, you could upgrade the speakers, but I think these are an awkward shape. I think they're like 6.5 or 7.5 inch in the front down here. I can't remember, but it's not a simple case of just going buying your typical kind of speakers off the shelf. You'll need to buy, you know, make adapters or adapt the existing brackets, so on and so forth. So yeah, for me, I quite like leaving my cars as they are, to be honest with you. Just improve on them like an OEM Plus thing, like I said, with the gearbox, which is an extreme OEM Plus because it's not a cheap option. But then, you know, I'm not planning on ever selling the car, to be honest. I love it. I really love it. So yeah. All right, anyway, thanks guys. Let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll catch you in the next one.